Hey, give me money. YouTube memberships. Become a member of my weirdo empire. Just 99 cents a month, you can become Max Thrasher the Bounty Hunter yourself. Special badges, shoutouts at the beginning of the streams, and you get to feel good about yourself. For $4.99 a month, you can join the Erotic Eric Fontaine tier. All those other perks, plus once a month, you can join me and our friends for a special not quite wrestling live stream where we watch something that's kinda like wrestling, but not quite. And for $9.99 a month, you can play Armstrong Bingo with us. It's all that other stuff, plus once a year, you can select what we watch on Off the Grid. Just don't make it porn, don't make it something that'll get me a copyright strike. Please send a link because I don't want to do work. I'm lazy. Get on YouTube now, support me, I'll thank you later. Literally, I will thank you. And until we can fix capitalism, this is the best I can do.
From the swamps of Louisiana, the Cajun Predator.
The day of the hairy freak or the fat slob is practically gone.
Let the party begin. I've got snacks.
Hey, look at us. We did it again. Another 7 days round the sun. Welcome to WCW Deep Cuts Live. My name is Tom. Poke right there. Right there. Look at that. That's my name. TOMGREEN. Spell it, just don't wear it out. I guess that's how that goes. Welcome to everybody in the Erotic Eric Fontaine fan club, aka the chat. Hello to you all here on Twitch, because as I like to remind everyone, we're not live on YouTube. YouTube is VOD, tape delay, Memorex. Want to catch WCW Deep Cuts live? You got to be on Twitch, or catch it live. I mean, you can catch it live, taped, live recorded, after the fact. Shout out Dude Thomas for the follow. I believe Steverdust is also a follow. Hello. Hey, thanks for the nice comments about the hair, Steverdust. And yes, Cecil. See, what happened was, I've explained it before. I messed up saying what the Earth actually does. We don't actually go around the sun, we rotate, right? And I said it for weeks and weeks and weeks without catching it, but everybody was so nice. They never corrected me. So that's what I say now. Plus life feels so damn long. So long. It feels like 7 years. But anyway, speaking of all you lovely people, speaking of YouTube, shout out to the members of my weirdo empire. Of course, YouTube members. Thank you, Brian Derby, the man, the myth, the legends, Kamish Spiffy, Toroid 11, David Syracuse, everybody's friend Jonathan Mayer, Scott Keith, the Scott Keith, Hidden Track, Easy McClure, Jason Honey Cuts, the Tootinist, Man Around, Fartmaster Supreme, Kin, Terminated DQ, JT Jacob Kinney, Brenticus Maximus, the Sign Master, Champagne and JD, the Suzanne Adam Suzanne, Yankee Hawko 4, Peyton Andrews, Adam Simon, Brent Clark, Anthony Marola, Stephen J. Neptune Man, Bam Dog, Sean Fox, Jesse, Jamie, Impo, Wild Woobs, Brandon Stevenson, Casual Villainy, Dima Bauer, Ninja, Tyler Black, Active Graves, Mark Webster, Justin aka Buddha Bull, Unpop, Sean O'Connell, Coops, Footy Vids, D-Cribs, Brando H, El Hio Del Santo Gold, Kubla 1972, Philip Romaine, Joseph Dowd, Judas Effect, Ghost of Bert Prentice, Generic Footy Fan, Cloud121D, Joshua Kuhn, King Coop, Edsel Mask, David Will Hall, Jeff Landry Comedy, Advocate of Enochiism, and our newest member, Rolling Golem. Then go check me out on YouTube. We do a monthly free members only stream called Not Quite Wrestling, and it helps me out. So you wanna help me out with your wallet that way, also Twitch subs are always welcome. I don't beg, but I put them in a syringe, I stick it in my butt cheek, and I get gyno. So pretty sweet. So anyway, speaking of sweet, something in my mouth. Ugh. You know what's not in my mouth is my Discord. Check out my Discord, tinyurl.com/discord for Tom Green. Go in there, chat it up. Believe, I've had everything in there this week from suggestions for future Oops No Wrestling stuff, which news on that in a bit. But also, just general chatter. Talking about Dan Severn today. His old man gym habits. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, go in there, check it out. So that's all. That's all there. But hey, we're 5 minutes into the stream and there's been no damn wrestling. Let's get into it. We're going back to the year 1991, specifically the day March 23rd, 1991. We're going to watch 2 episodes of WCW television from that day because WCW like to just jam all their TV into a 24-hour period back then. So let's go back and watch WCW Worldwide first from March 23rd, 1991. And then after that, we'll watch what would become Saturday Night, what was just World Championship Wrestling at the time. Let's go. I agree, Walhall. We will have to do that. Definitely. As always, let me know how the audio is, how I am, how that is. Yes, Yankee Hawk, you are awesome. Thank you for subbing for 6 months. Crazy. I don't know if we're gonna see your dad get his ass whooped tonight, Jeff Gann. I did not look at the match listings. I believe he was going under a version of his shoot name at this point, not quite the Gambler yet. There's Gordon, looking like he's the oldest valet at the hotel. Jeff Gamble. I thought that was Jeff Gamble, but I didn't know if it was a version of that. Yeah, one variation of the real name he was using. Yeah, Elegante. He wore it on his tights. It said the Giant on his tights.
Morton one-on-one. We talked about him, how much of a scrappy individual he is. He'll be going up
Scrappy. Yeah, so this is from right after WWE bought WCW.
It's going to be a great hour of the Superstar Championship Wrestling.
That was around the time. So they were airing old episodes of WWF Superstars in England as part of their TV deal in Sky Sports at the time. And that's around the time that some Australian promoter tried to sue them for the old Superstars of Wrestling logo. So they had to switch over, and like these would air. I think it was like Sunday afternoons or something. Hey, Brian Turner. Hello. Go check out Brian Turner's VHS Rehab over on YouTube. Uploading all sorts of good stuff. Tennessee wrestling history and beyond. There we go. There's my hero, Jumpin' Joey Maggs in the ring. My guy. For those of you who are newbies, Joey Maggs, genuinely one of my childhood heroes. This is when Dustin was doing his dad's promo voice. Also, referee is Lee Scott, the patron saint of enhancement wrestlers. Lee Scott, who I found on Instagram recently, hanging in there. He's hardcore juggalo now. Hey, Marcus Face. Yeah, Joey Maggs left us a while ago, years and years ago. I think I've seen a promo of the Joseph Magliano deal in Memphis where he was like the Italian mob guy.
Yeah, he had an excellent amateur wrestling.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that the boots and the knee pads, like they look like they don't match. They technically do, but like the color, it's off. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it either. I'm with you, Cecil.
Capacity crowd on hand as always for the Superstars of World Championship Wrestling. Dustin right to that arm with jumping.
Like, I would say he forgot his knee pads, but like the boots have glue on them too. What the hell? That was kind of sweet. Like, he kept a hold of the wrist lock and went with the side slam. All right, Brian, my pal Brian Dermody. When my grandfather died, we were shocked to learn that the mortician who handled the funeral was a ringer for Jim Cornette. I think a lot of morticians look like Jim Cornette. I don't know. It just seems like the vibe.
And he's polishing those skills.
Polishing those Skittles. That's a unique way of saying that he's touching his balls.
It'll be interesting to see whether or not he will be.
Yes, just Dustin, very patriotic here.
And I hope his dad's not listening right now.
Right to the wrist now.
Yeah, I hope Dusty's not listening to you talking about polishing Skittles either, Gordon.
He is. Lee Scott is checking in as Dustin gets right back to his feet.
Yeah, that's weird seeing those empty seats in the front row. Like, these days, they are both major companies are so self-conscious about that.
Yeah, he's got a great charisma, and
See, that's ironic, Cecil, since Paul Bearer looked like Gomez
he
Adams.
truly enjoys.
Kind of, that's also the vibe.
In the world, I believe. And
Slam the arm down. Pin the arm behind him and slam.
The guy who did my dad's funeral kind of looked like if Lee Scott here was an old man. Very skinny, kind of poofy hair, but gray.
Aggressive Dustin Rhodes in our first event this week on Worldwide.
I don't like that Joey Maggs isn't wearing wrist tape. He looks more naked without it.
Had a wrist lock that slammed him on the arm, and now holds the arm out and puts an elbow right on top of it.
Or is he just wearing it on one arm?
Biceps and triceps take away. It's like taking away one leg of a table. You take away that left arm, the man loses 1 point of attack and 1 point of balance. But now he's
Gordon has to compare everything to something at the bar.
No, it's Dustin who hurts his firmly and now puts it right into the turnbuckle. We got a 1 count out of that. Look at that, right hand.
Great punches from Dustin here.
A block and an elbow to the top of the head.
Dustin got so much shit in the newsletters at this time. Well, like, he was good. He was good from him. He had the years of experience in like Florida and Memphis and stuff. He was good by this point. And he would just get better. Hell yeah. Yeah, I think the whole ref half circle thing, I think that was like a more like recent thing, like in the last 20 years. Because yeah, if you watch a lot of this old stuff, refs don't give a shit where the camera is. Yeah, he worked for WWE for about 6 months too. That's right, Green Boy. What's that, Willie? You don't like it when someone talks like this? I get you. I like Gordon, but I understand.
I'm here today to give you a progress report on the York Foundation. It's amazing how many people have come up to me and want to become members of the York Foundation.
Could you imagine
at this point. We have Mr.
poor Terry Reynolds walking down the street and fans like, "Can I join the York Foundation?"
We're doing very, very well.
And the thing that makes me so happy is I don't have to look over my back anymore because I have Mr. Hughes here. Who is going to
Terry Taylor is the butt
We are
poops.
taking care of business in a corporate manner. Now you think about taking care of business, things are going
The
great
thing is, he
for us.
looks like a suit. Like he looks right doing this gimmick.
Not decide, doesn't know who he is or how he's supposed to act. You have Butch Reed, who always knows what he wants to do.
Yeah, you guys need like a temp. Like somebody walks up to Terry on the street. Hey, listen, here's my resume. My references are on the second page. I just need to put in a 2-week notice where I am now. Oh yeah, Nikita at his smoggy room. That's amazing, Jeff. I'll have to look out for that. Awesome little Easter egg. So Jeff, for those of you that weren't with us last week, Jeff Gann, his father, is of course all-time WCW BNC show legend, The Gambler. We all here love The Gambler. He's awesome. But Jeff just shared that his dad got his boots from Terry Taylor. So if we go back and look under the gambling cards, it's hidden under the cards. Okay, so we won't be able to see it. Okay, I thought it was like the TT was underneath. So he was smart and he put the cards over it. Gotcha. Hey, Ed. Glad to see you in the comments over on Twitter. Yes, Rocky4, very much so. Ace of Trace, thank you for the sub. Gonna put that in my syringe. I'll look like Nikita in no time. Nikita's traps looked like his second and third head. I did know that, Peter. Yeah, Big Cat Hughes after, Snake Watson. I love this guy. God, he looked like such a piece of shit. I love him. I love Snake. Yeah, Big Cat, because Mr. Hughes, I believe, was wrestling Junkyard Dog. Junkyard Dog would duck something. Mr. Hughes goes into the post, and the sunglasses shatter in his eyes.
No, you're certainly right.
Yeah, Lex Luger's music here is dope. So if you ever wanted to know what Lex Luger versus a shop teacher would be like, here you go. That's why I did it, to get your attention. Like, hey, going live. Yes, Lex Luger, United States champion. Champion of our country. Unless you are not from America. Snake Watson got stabbed to death in 1992. I do not mean to laugh, R.I.P. Snake Watson, but also that kind of feels wrong. You know?
But it's also, I would think, as much to intimidate Lex Luger, or at least to attempt to intimidate Lex Luger.
I can see that, Green Boy. Oh! Lex is like, fuck it. Hit you in the lower back. Make your car ride home real uncomfortable. Yeah, Snake definitely has unemployed uncle vibes. Ow! I love that Lex screamed more than the guy being hit with the suplex. Oh my god, he is. Oh my gosh. He almost fell out of the ring. But no, he does look wider than the turnbuckles. That's amazing. Yeah, Nikita Koloff's run in wrestling is like a blip. He was in and he was out. He's been in the ministry way longer now.
On the run.
Oh! Sheamus thinks he's too late. There we go. I love the torture rack. I'm gonna put you up on my shoulders and binge you. Those are constants. Hey, Don Carlos. Hello, hello. Lex transported. Like magic. Magic for Lugers. Exactly. See, so it's wild. Like, so many top guys back then were, like, out of wrestling before they were, like, they looked like they were old, but they were out of wrestling before they were 40. And now it's like everybody has a 25-year run.
You better stay in that dungeon for a long, long time. But get ready for this. Right
again, Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe's been wrestling since the late 90s. It's 2025 now.
I'm not hard to find. Come and get him. And this time, it's face to face. No surprises. Yeah, come on.
Nose to what? You say face to face, nose to price. Yeah, Mark's only 40. He started wrestling as a teenager. The vitamin, yes, the vitamins and the drinking, yes. Oh, look it's Big Josh and his hunting buddy, Tommy Rich. Look at Tommy Rich's little boy mullet. Oh, they're wrestling the police. Yeah, Mark, that's right. Mark was in Jay's corner for the first few shows. And then he turned heel on Jay, joined the Prophecy. He was jealous. They wrestled in Boston. Yeah, it did sound like it sounded like Lex said noses to privates, which That's wild.
You know, this guy took advantage of in the manner in which he did.
But if you've ever seen like a little kid from this era, like their parents make them have a mullet for school pictures, that's what Tommy Rich's mullet looks like.
We appreciate all the letters and postcards we've received about how Worldwide Wrestling is being received around the world. Side headlock now.
I've heard of Nut to Butt. Never heard of Nose to Privates.
And a shoulder block.
Oh, dude, that's sick, Brian. Yeah, that match was really good, and they had a match in Wildside like the month before. They just went nuts.
Pre-recorded comments from Parker and Wright, the State Patrol.
Like blew those Georgia fans away. Holy shit, State Patrol promo.
That's right. After the U.S. titles, we're going for bigger, better things. Watch out for the state.
No, you're not. You're not going on to bigger or better things. This was way before Tommy Rich went Italian. This is 6 years before Tommy Rich went Italian.
Brings up the issue of the U.S. Tag Team title. And of course,
I have no memory of Big Josh using that axe handle. I know Akhil's used it against him.
Top two contenders to battle for the U.S. Tag Team title. Of course, they have to look at not only the State Patrol.
Here's the thing. That's not a gimmick, Sean Drops. That's how they are.
Certainly no question about that. And
Like, there's a part of Delaware that is the most southern place on earth. And I could definitely see that, Brian. After what the Briscoes did on that show, anything. I remember Loki and Styles being good. I agree, Cecil. Yes. He needed a partner, and he needed a guy shredding guitar, and he needed some doors. Those of you who don't know what I'm referencing, check out TDT. Destroying like 4 dudes on a recent mystery wrestling show. I think there's a short form, a vertical video on like Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and all that. It is the wildest fucking squash match I've ever seen. It's insane. Like all these dudes just getting brained with various doors as a guy in the background is randomly shredding. It's amazing. Yeah, because your dad was around the power plant, Jeff. Yeah, I imagine you have seen Buddy Lee Parker go off on a few tangents. I wish he cut one of those promos here. Promo wasn't great. The State Patrol ever won them? I think they won like 1 or 2. To like set them up for something like this. I have not seen that match. No, I missed one of the last couple mystery wrestlers. Yeah, I need to go back and watch that. Yeah. That sounds even more amazing.
Here's a tag and the run. Double team.
But like I'm serious though. TDT in mystery wrestling, destroying guys with the dude shredding guitar is like the closest anything on the indies has felt to like ECW in a long time. And that's wild because mystery wrestling and ECW could not be more polar opposite. Oh, the State Patrol went out on a high and won their last match as a team against High Voltage. That's amazing. I'm so jealous. Both of the company you had and the fact that you got to see American Gladiators live. Hell yeah. Tommy Rich wins with the Fez press, which I'm glad. I believe Sean Spears is bringing back. At ECW, that's a good point. Plus, they came as mass transit, but I mean, he walked away. He died like 5 years later. Somebody literally died in the Taipei death match. There was actual death in the mystery wrestling death match. Hell yeah, here's Sid.
After getting trashed like the dog that you are, and they run their mouths and they scream loud about what they're going to do to someone, you're telling me one thing, you're telling the people one thing, you're telling yourself one thing, that you're a coward and that you know you're a coward.
Oh, Sid.
If you ever stick your stupid, pathetic face in my business again, I'm going to promise you something, Brian. I said it once, that I was sorry that you walked away from the hospital. The next time I won't have to say I'm sorry, Brian.
Oh, Brian.
You know when you look in my eyes, it's over. Because I am Sid Vicious.
You are.
And Sid Vicious rules the world.
I thought he was talking about me for a second. Imagine playing, like, you have, like, a burglar trying to get in your house and you play that, like, Home Alone style. There we go. More York Foundation. It looks like Terrence Taylor and Alexander York are wearing matching jackets. Well, I believe, God, what's the name of the company? Big Vision actually is dinging some of that stuff for copyright. I need to talk to Kevin Clanrock. I might be able to pull it off, though. Oh my god, the new shit promo. If you've never seen that, Sid's one match in IWS with PCO in like 2004.
Because of those injuries, he is not able to compete. Ricky Morton has agreed to take his place, and Ricky Morton is still scheduled.
Yeah, Ricky Nelson. His sons at the time were shooting up the charts. I can't live without your love and affection. I can't waste another night on my own. Hell yeah, Cecil. I'm glad that PCO wasn't the only survivor of the new shit. There's that one guy that bounced all the way out of the ring. Wonder where he is now. The ref looks like Dave Meltzer because, like, most white dudes looked like that at the time. Lucha Libre USA, I think so.
And Taylor now. Ricky Nelson.
Yeah, pretty much. I was trying to keep old kayfabe on Sammy, but his bump he took for Sid is amazing.
The man we all know as Terrence Taylor now.
I don't think they ever explained what happened to Wall Street. Just gone. Wow.
Now the outside and right down.
Alexander York is 24 years old here. I mean, to his credit, Terry doesn't look 35. He looks younger. Kept himself in good skincare shape. That's not a thing, but I just made it a thing. It's like Terry Taylor is wrestling teenage Terry Taylor, which that should have been a thing. Teenage Terry Taylor, Triple T. Oh, that's insane. Tommy Morrison lived down the road from you. Melt. My mom calls her vacuum cleaner Terry Taylor. She's had it since 1979. It always sucked. Yes, a time travel match. TNA posted one of those today on their Twitter. Just Incredible wrestling an enhancement guy that looked like Just Incredible.
I know Terrence Taylor is, that's for sure.
Yeah, and, you know, I'd like
Marco Corleone is, last I heard a few weeks ago, is trying to make a comeback. He looks great.
Person wielding tremendous power, and not to be disrespectful, but I wonder if there's sort of a little Napoleonic complex there.
Well,
Yeah, there's a nostalgia to, like, the bad quality of some of this footage. I agree. Like, it's great that everything is so crystal clear that, like, you can tell the outline of someone's nipples from, like, a mile away. But there's something to watching wrestling, 4:3 ratio, where you have to squint to see things. Oh my goodness, that would be... I think you all could fill a big old building doing that for Mystery Wrestling. Mark Jindrak versus Jungle Pack.
Boy, you can see this one coming. A slingshot. Slingshot suplex.
Slingslot. The sling slit suplex? Sling slit suplex.
To the midsection.
Good little punches from old Ricky Nelson.
And that really
You do. I would also. I think I need to start streaming from a computer, like Alexandra York's, with no screen. And Tony accidentally takes Oli's cup.
Alexandra with a flawless program once again.
I think so, Cecil. I think Lee Scott told him, "Hey, we need more. We need more. Stretch it out. Stretch it out."
Here's where Terry Taylor might have gotten a little overconfident. I think he thought that the first time he had his man pretty well defeated. Ricky was able to...
That referee is Lee Scott. Yeah, this is the point where Lee Scott had kind of figured out, yes, the legendary Lee Scott. He had figured out they're never going to push me as a wrestler. And when Tommy Young went down, spot opened up. Look how tiny Sting looks.
What's it like to have everybody crawling at you, coming at you from every single angle, saying, "I want a title shot with you, pal"?
Look at Elegante.
It's not a good feeling, but if you can't stand the heat, you gotta get out of the kitchen, don't
Rocky
you?
King was a referee for that as well, yes.
One way or another. I want the bell.
He really was waiting for that cue. God, I love Elegante. It's one of my favorites. Down, bow, bow, down, 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 down. Barry Windham still growing out his hair from Halloween Havoc 90.
A most impressive competitor.
Yeah, this isn't LaGrange at all. It's dun 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 dun. See? Oh my goodness, that would have been amazing. Putting the Sting face paint right here on Elegante's chest. Hell yes. Here we go. Ricky Morton and Barry Windham. This will be a good match. But I believe, yes, the referee is Nick Patrick, who is already holding onto the ropes.
Barry, there's a little guy in a white coat with a stethoscope around his neck that says, "I don't have clearance to get in the ring." I'm gonna tell you something.
That's not a... But what if it's not a doctor?
In the parking lot at one of the no-tell motels.
What the fuck?
And if I can use the term, Ricky off to a flying start.
He is indeed. I'll tell you something.
Is that Dr. Joel Hackett that he's referring to?
For a few moments.
He never said there was a doctor. There are plenty of weirdos that walk around in white coats. A no-tell motel. Those are the ones that the wrestlers hung out.
Barry Windham has been one half of the World Tag Team Champions. He has also been the US Heavyweight.
Barry is 30 years old. He was washed up at 33. Think about that.
And who's to deny him? Because right now he's as hot as he's ever been. A rake to the eyes to Ricky Morton.
Makes you wonder why a guy that big, that strong, and that capable has to resort
Capable.
to those shortcuts.
Well,
A very virile man.
What you called earlier on a mean streak, Gordon. Of course, some guys take it to the limit. Some guys just use it to be aggressive. And of course, some guys just use the computer, as Terrence Taylor proved. And here's the mean streak we were talking about, Sweetwater, Texas.
See, if this was South Africa, somebody would be throwing powder in his mouth right now.
To the face and going right on the head of
That's what I call a callback.
Flying Brian, who we heard from earlier on,
Nick Patrick is like, come on, just do the mouth thing for a little bit, but you got to stop. Come on. You know, you got to commit to it, Nick. And let go of the damn rope.
Some great competitors that suffered the same injury he did.
So you never had to worry about Nick Patrick standing in the way of the camera, because he just hung out in his corner. Unless there was a real good opportunity for like facial reaction, and then he would step right in front of him. Dude, if you watch that British house show that WWE uploaded on the Vault this weekend, it's a house show. And yet there are multiple entrances where Nick Patrick gets into the shot and like blocks the wrestler. Yes, the one with no commentary. It's a fucking house show and Nick Patrick's still like, I gotta get my camera time. Exactly, Ed. The no-tell hotels where the guy with the white coat told them their son was Dr. Joel Hackett.
It's not the size of the man in in the man, and I know I've said it so many times, but it
Wonder
fits
if
so
WCW won any Emmy Awards for outstanding lighting direction, says Yankee Hawk. Yeah, when we watch Knights and Warriors on Not Quite Wrestling, we discovered that piece of shit won an Emmy.
As Windham throws everything at Ricky Morton. Keep your eye on the youngster from Nashville. There he goes. Again, face first.
There we go.
And when you start sending him from side
Throwing
to
like
side,
Superman
you're playing
punches.
his ballpark. And now you see the corner of your screen, Sid Vicious.
I have no idea what Brian would have done after Montreal. He was fucking nuts.
Flying body press. And Morton, Sid Vicious going out.
Nick Patrick got his ass kicked a couple times during the NWO run. But other than that, no.
Working on Ricky Morton. They're going to put a power bomb on Ricky Morton.
I love that this match got like 2 minutes before a run in. Like Ricky Morton couldn't lose clean.
Windham is calling apparently for the gurney. And here they come.
Like Barry couldn't have beaten him. And then they did this. It's not like Ricky was doing anything. He was like just a low card guy hanging out. Ricky was 30. Hey, 34 years old is kind of young in wrestling. Hey, there's Brian Pillman. Wasn't he hanging out with a Mark doctor at a hotel?
Coming in. He really nailed Vicious. Windham. Vicious goes out.
It must have pissed Sid off so bad to have to go over the top rope for Brian Pillman. He hated selling for little guys. Oh my God. Yeah, we shouldn't be doing that when the fans are so close to the ring.
And now coming to the aid of Ricky Morton. So much for the gurney, right, Gordon?
Hey, who are these? Who are these orderlies? Whichever wrestlers these are, they're taking it seriously. Yeah, that's right. I love that story that says like, you want me to be Hulk Hogan's replacement? No, I want to be a bad guy. There we go. Here's some fucking weirdos. Time to hump the air, everybody. It is incredible that that man has genuinely saved so many lives. I don't know if you all saw, he's working with Abdullah the Butcher now. Abby has lost so much weight doing DDP yoga. And DDP loves himself some acid wash. Yeah, no, Abby is doing DDP yoga. I fucking love this. When you have two managers and one of them gets a separate entrance and it's fucking Oliver Humperdinck looking like he just woke up. I think DDP's diet is just like general nutrition. But like, you hang out at DDP's house and he's just keeps you in check.
So Diamond Dallas Page brings in the Freebirds. Here we go.
Just in time for Big Daddy Dink. Yeah. Again, I love that Big Daddy Dink got his own entrance. Why did the Freebirds need two managers? Okay, so one of them was the road manager, the roadie essentially. Big Daddy Dink. He was like the top roadie. You know, he made sure all the equipment got to town. And then DDP was the guy that handled the road stuff, booking the hotels.
As we know, with the power bomb, Morton helped out by Flying Brian.
That's the kayfabe reason, but for real, it's because I don't know. They all wanted to get high with Humperdinck, but he couldn't cut a promo. I don't know.
World Tag Team Champions, so you've got a real top flight contest.
ZZ Top tribute made from the Facebook Marketplace. Oh my gosh.
Any building throughout the entire United States and have a tremendous crowd out there.
Didn't we just see Tommy Rich wrestle?
Jimmy Jam Garvin against Wildfire Tommy Rich.
Yeah, Tommy Rich wrestled 2 matches ago. What the hell's going on? This is a 44-minute show, and they couldn't find another fucking guy in the locker room.
Jimmy Jam up. You know, we talk so much about the tag team scene and the Steiners. Of course, the World Tag Team Champions. The Freebirds held the titles until the Steiners defeated them.
Oh my god, I love this. And he changed
Now, 2 weeks
tights.
into their World Tag Team title reign, the question is, what's going to
Big
happen
Josh
to
is
the US
pissed.
Tag Team belts?
Yeah, couldn't even put up a mask. Couldn't be the masked Georginian or whatever.
Hip toss. And then here came the Young Pistols. And then here came Big Daddy Dink. And of course,
Yeah, Tommy Rich and Big Josh had a match like 2 matches ago.
and a pile driver later, one member of the Young Pistols found himself in the ring by himself.
He did, and almost with disastrous results.
Oh my gosh.
Tremendous.
There were plenty of guys in the locker room.
They overcame their adversity.
Right to the arm now.
We got multiple Tommy Riches. Okay. I see.
Dog is in. Oh, the fans, the dog
Right.
is in.
Yeah, maybe the Freebirds shouldn't have had so many managers. Maybe they could have booked an extra wrestler.
Reversal. The dog got the old ham bone right to the head.
I love that Jimmy Garvin's hair was so big that even though he ducked, JYD still punched him a little bit.
Interesting point here now. You really got, in one sense of the word, 4 against 2. You've got 4 more
Into the Tommy Richiverse. Yeah, Tommy Rich teamed with Big Josh. Yeah, they were regular tag partners at this point. There's no rhyme or reason why he's teaming with JYD here, even if he didn't double P.
And they are really getting to Michael PSAs. The dog.
Whereas JYD looks like he has no fucking idea what's going on.
What can Michael do with him? The big guy holds on from behind. He collared him that time.
Throwing a real good backyarder punch there.
It's a tag for Jimmy Jam.
Human chassis was a move ahead. And that's what you've got to do in professional wrestling. Stay ahead of your opponent.
Yeah, you know, because when I think of being a move ahead, I think of JYD.
Jimmy Jam, the first man back up, but Tommy packages him out. Gets a 2. And Tommy Rich.
Oh my gosh.
With a clothesline. Here's a cover here. No, sir. Michael Hayes gets all 4 men in now. And now the referee sending dog back. Tommy Rich.
Oh, hey, it's the move he used to win a match 10 minutes ago.
Michael Hayes with a foot on the back.
He's storytelling.
He caught it squarely on the back, and that's gonna
They established it. And that match, why did that match even need to happen? Why couldn't that have been 2 enhancement guys?
Freebird stole that one.
Yeah, they beat him with the most gentle stomp I've ever seen.
Now the Says are on their way back.
That match wasn't even 3 minutes long. Why did it have? How did Rip Rogers get to the ring? This show was taped weeks in advance. Why are they rushing through everything? Hey, it's Rip Rogers, who recently posted his phone number on the internet to get a job with Tony Khan in AEW.
The very bizarre Rip Rogers.
Did the NWE edit this? Oh my goodness, those transitions on Sunday. If you have not done so, go back and watch Off the Grid, NWE on Sunday. Archive is on YouTube. Yeah, but the ref was real dumb, telling Terry Taylor to stretch it out. Is that
Yeah,
it?
just don't do anything physical or humiliating to Ron Simmons, or you're going to pay for it.
Don't do anything physical to Ron Simmons. So, like, don't wrestle him?
Rip Rogers, former Mr. Central States, Mr. Indiana, tremendous body, but look at how he's dwarfed by Ron Simmons.
You know, we talk about the mean streak. We brought it up a couple of times right in this program. And if anybody's got a mean streak, it's Mr.
Yeah, Ron Simmons does not get enough credit
And he's using
for
the
how...
safety rail. You can hear now Rip Rogers.
How do I put it?
What a fool gets for thinking he can get away with pulling something like that.
He carried himself with an air of credibility that I don't think he gets the credit for.
No. And he's like one of those stock brokerage firms. When he speaks, people listen.
Those blows not having much of effect at all on the massive upper body of Simmons.
Yeah, I've heard that about Rip too, that he would not order food, just eat whatever was left on people's plates. Also, there's a story from Mick Foley's book about how he stuck his hand in diarrhea to get Barry Windham's keys. Generally just heard awful things about Rip Rogers. And not just like weird awful things, but like awful things.
And I'm sure he's taking a message, or sending, I guess I should say, a message to Teddy Long. Don't strap me.
Don't strap me?
Rogers, who has not even had a chance to get his vest off here. Still trying to fight back, but Simmons, each and every blow, just rocks his head back. Here we go.
Oh, nice. Love the Ron Simmons spine buster.
Rogers' punches lacked authority.
I love that Gordon. Wait, what the fuck?
I don't know who this guy is.
I believe that's Mark Mara.
Has the physique of a butchery.
That's pre Johnny B. Bad Mark Mara, I'm pretty sure. Oh, that pile driver was rough ski.
This guy obviously a mercenary of some kind or another.
A mercenary. I love that in wrestling you can dress like that and be a mercenary. You can show up in the brightest ring gear possible with fucking tassels, and you're a mercenary sneaking up on somebody. Brad says Rip Rogers was voted most likely to load the entire craft services table with John Mellencamp in his hatchback. Hello, O. Nelson Pereira. Thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, that's Mark Marrow. Kind of like the NWE. You unmask somebody and nobody knows who it is. One of these guys appeared on BET and it wasn't Ron Simmons. Thank you, John. Yes.
Tag team match which has been signed, Flying Brian and Ricky Morton against Barry Windham and Sid Vicious.
That's going to be out.
Yeah, don't hire a hitman unless he has like a bright pink jacket and a cowboy hat. All right. Before we go to WCW or World Championship Wrestling, here's what we will be watching Tuesday next week. No stream on Sunday. I'm taking Sunday off. It's my off Sunday for the month. But here's what we'll be watching next Tuesday. April Fool's WCW Deep Cuts Live. Thought of a lot of things I could do, but most of them involved doing way more work than I wanted to. So here's what we're doing on April Fool's for WCW Deep Cuts Live. An old favorite.
You can't hold your own, huh?
Yeah.
You
can go right through their legs and sneak up on them from behind.
That's right. Very.
All right, so next week, next Tuesday, an old favorites. Oops, no wrestling. Thank you for the kind words, Nelson. Jungle Pack does rule. I agree. I agree with you, my friend. There'll be more NWE on Off the Grid in the coming months, maybe even years.
Today's program is brought to you by Nintendo.
And if you're in the Discord, I spoiled one of the things we're going to be watching on Oops No Wrestling next week. But I found one of my holy grails of WCW related footage that was not online, and it just recently went online, and I found it, and we're gonna watch it next week.
Paul, I understand you've got a very special danger zone.
Well, everybody knows what you see at the very beginning of the program is the most important.
Look at all that damn headroom they have.
Guess who enters the danger zone tonight? Joining Gerald O. Dangerously with all the scoops. Kevin Sullivan and
Gerald O.
One-man gang.
His middle initial was an O.
As well. Yeah, he always says his danger zones are so important. Not as important as my interview with Lex Luger, because he's going up against Nikita Koloff, and I'm going to find out the truth, not you.
Paul and JR fucked,
more
of course.
exciting interviews from our two adolescents. I can't hear a word. Fans, let's go right now to the ring. This is World Championship Wrestling on TV.
Yo stands for extreme. Are you fucking kidding me? Tommy Rich again. It's like a horror movie. Tommy Rich. We cannot escape him. Tommy, my ass is everywhere, Rich. An embarrassment of riches. Why didn't I say that, Brian? That's why I pay you the big bucks. Oh my gosh. This is worse than the El Dandy fiasco because he's wrestled 3 times in under an hour now. I think that was just 2 with El Dandy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Ric Flair.
Yeah, if you're a Tommy Rich fan, so Jim Barnett, wherever you may be, whichever way he went. Tommy's last push was like with the FBI managing. So yeah, we got Ric Flair in the opener of this TV show. I mean, this isn't like it is now, where like they actually do build up to a main event. The main event on most of these shows was like enhancement matches.
But that is not the case. It is still up for review, but Flair is the champion.
Oh, you know he's the champion because he's the one that entered the arena with
Nick Patrick, referee, making a whole show out of himself because he's a fucking mark for TV time. Exactly, getting up. Yeah, so, I mean, it's not uncommon for a guy like Ric Flair to work the opener on a TV show. I don't know if Ric Flair had somewhere to be because they would tape like 3 episodes the same night. This wasn't live, so see right there. There's a weird, awkward cut to a bunch of kids without parents.
Indeed, this should be a tremendous contest. It's Tommy Rich with the arm drag on Barry Windham as they started out for their respective teams.
Yeah, but you talk about a
I love the mom stitches on the back of Tommy Rich's tights. Like that's a mom with her first sewing kit, sewing her son's name into a pillow. Yeah, this is probably normally they taped on Tuesday nights at Center Stage.
Done tremendously well
So
in the matches we've seen him in against some tough competition.
Yeah, because he's overpowered.
Definitely not the crowd we're hearing.
From the North Woods, but he's in there with 2 of the greatest wrestlers in the history of World Championship Wrestling.
And for all the shit about attendance these days, this building held like not even 1,000 people. And look at how dark they had to make it because there was nobody there. You can see maybe the first 3 rows.
Yeah, but you see, Tommy Rich is using a smart game plan. He does something, Windham will back off to slow down the pace, and Tommy waits for Barry to come back to him. Big Josh is too inexperienced. He's too impatient, and he's going to make a critical error.
Yeah, I can't even bring an axe with a blade on it to the ring.
Big mistake.
Fucking rookie.
WCW Rolling Thunder Tour 91 continues tonight in Kingsport, Tennessee.
Yeah, and tomorrow the 2 p.m. show in Rainsville, Alabama.
Yeah, the Ric Flair 1991 haircut when Jim Herd's like, get rid of that long shit. And he's like, fine, I'll look like a little Dutch boy. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, they absolutely added crowd noise to these refs as wizards.
Big Josh understands the flamboyance.
Absolutely did.
Nature boy Ric Flair. I'm sure he's never seen anybody with their haircut like that up in a logging camp.
Well, that's the Flair's advantage because that's something that Big Josh.
Yeah, think about how sad Tommy Rich must have been after these shows. Like 10 years earlier, he was the youngest world champion of all time. And now, I mean, he's still on national TV, but there's like less people here than there were at fucking Techwood Drive.
Taken by surprise there.
The fans all over the world because
yeah, this crowd's not making that noise. They're all either asleep or drunk.
Football blocked by Tommy Wildfire.
And some of them both. Like they would literally bring drunk people in off the street and let them sleep in the seats just to film.
Josh is real happy that Tommy's doing so well.
Well, yeah, but so's a fan in the front row, but you wouldn't want him to get
Nobody else is making noise, so how about the wrestlers in the corners? Who's the modern version of Tommy Rich now? Fuck, who would be the modern version of Tommy Rich?
Nature Boy Ric
I don't
Flair and
think-
Barry Windham will be in the big national
Like a
television
guy who's
games
been
in
around
Gainesville,
forever, but is still
Tuesday
young.
in Anderson, South Carolina.
But
Both those events Monday
he's
and
okay,
Tuesday
but he's
starting
not
at 7 o'clock.
great.
And Flair is
Huh.
reading the riot act to Big Josh, who's just nodding and listening and pretty much agreeing.
Well, that's good. He's learning a lesson from the
I
greatest.
feel like all like the veteran types now are actually old.
Oh, that's a universal language right there.
See, but Dolph Ziggler's getting like a push in TNA. He's not like an undercard guy in one of the big companies.
Again, Flair can't move Big Josh.
Yeah, but that
Maybe Sheamus. I think Sheamus is really good though. Like Sheamus at this point, or Tommy Rich at this point wasn't having matches like Sheamus and Drew and Gunther at that one WrestleMania a couple years ago. Carlito is a good one. Carlito is a good one. Tool Man. I think Carlito's it. Thank you, Alan. Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
And there you go. He made a mistake.
Moxley's the world champion. Come on. I know people don't like him. Captain Cannibalism. Come on. You're making me do weird voices.
But that rake of the eyes.
Again, Drew's a top guy. Now, Tommy was like a second match on the card guy. I think Carlito is the closest thing we got to a Tommy Rich.
Caught them both coming out of the corner with a clothesline.
That show was insane. NWE. Gotta go back and watch the VOD.
He's having trouble focusing.
Yeah, but
not mentally, but with his vision.
But is he intelligent enough to do so?
But here's the thing. Okay, opinion about John Moxley aside, he's still a top guy. Tommy Rich was not a top guy.
None of us have had a lot of sleep since that long
If Del Rio came back into WWE now, he would probably be in that Carlito spot, so probably. And I'm sure Tommy Rich did all sorts of stupid shit that will get him canceled these days.
Well, there's a lot of great fans in Japan that think otherwise, and for us that were there, that had the privilege of going, as you did not, know exactly what I'm talking about, and we'll have hopefully some type of report.
Andrade's a really good one. I mean, Andrade's really fucking good, but yeah.
Opening up on Big Josh.
Yeah, Andrade's a good Tommy Rich comparison.
Been in there a long time.
Miro, he's just his own weird fucking thing.
He's
like,
learning very quickly, and he makes the tag to Tommy Rich. Well,
Miro's almost like if Warrior never drew.
Rich went for a drop kick.
He's just this weird anomaly.
Definitely held on to the top rope. Tags in now, Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Matt Sydal's a good. I think Matt Sydal is better than Tommy Dreamer in the ring, but yeah, a guy who kind of peaked early and has been like a veteran for a really long fucking time.
Wildfire reverses the abdominal stretch, and Barry Windham makes the tag.
See, Ray had a really long peak though. And like Ray, if you were to need him to be a top guy tomorrow, he could be. He is really fucking old. I've seen Matt Sydal's foot. He got it fixed. That's why he's been out lately the last 6-8 months. Finally got that thing fixed.
Windham, I can tell you, was very impressive in the Egg Dome Thursday night. Straight right hand again.
Where's Arnett? I assume he's pulling a Glock on somebody in the parking lot. Natty is a really okay. Natty might be it. Natty might be it. I think you hit it, Gustav Prentice. I think Natty might be our Tommy Rich.
Big Josh having to be restrained by
It's either Natty or Carlito.
Giving Flair and Windham the opportunity to double team Tommy Rich. Big Josh has got to adhere to the rules.
Well, Tamina's retired now. She's not working anymore. By the way, for anybody who plays the new WWE 2K game, her match in the showcase is fucking bullshit.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope us next weekend for
She has her own match in that showcase mode where you have to like reenact old matches to like win new characters, unlock them or whatever. It's fucking, it's a 6-way ladder match. And you have to like hit goals at certain, it's fucking bullshit. I just gave up.
the leg now of Tommy Rich. They have singled out that right leg as the object of their offense.
Big Josh was doing, yes.
Classic trait of Windham and Flair's.
I don't think Matt Bourne gets enough credit for like losing himself in characters. It was like he was very believable as a dude who was just a fucking lumberjack and trained with Tommy Rich for a couple weeks and now he's a wrestler. And then he was very believable as a clown right afterwards.
But Tommy Rich has got bad problems on the outside with his leg.
The question is, who would be the modern day Tommy Rich? Like a guy that peaked really, really young and is just kind of okay now. And he's kind of, just floating along in like the first or second match on the card.
Ric Flair now going for the figure 4 outside. And he has it hooked. He's got the figure 4.
Yeah, dude, that Tamina match. Yeah, fuck that shit. Like, I love, like, I think the match before it was like, Peter Maivia against George Animal Steel, and like, it's like 3 things you had to hit. It was like punch here, slam here, finisher, and you unlock like 8 things. And then the Tamina match is like, if you have to stand on your head, stand in this corner of the ring, hit Charlotte with this foot and Becky with this foot in 10 seconds. Like, it's stupid. Tommy Rich is worn down from working so damn much.
Is here alone, standing in
Maybe Finn. I still feel like, though, if they wanted to heat Finn up, they could. Whereas there's nowhere they could heat Carlito up enough. And I don't think they could, as much good as Natty's doing right now with the dungeon. I do not think you can heat Natty up enough to give her a run.
Now, what right does Ricky Morton have to be out here? Tommy Rich signed the contract to be Big Josh.
Yeah, this is kind of insane. Like, what other sport can you just jump in from the stands? Like, okay, I'm in the game now. I wonder if WCW had to deal with the peroxide company. Yeah, it's not like Tamina ever had a singles match with anybody, ever. Like, the only notable thing they could find was Tamina and Money in the Bank in a match that she lost. True, Nick Patrick is the referee. Of course he's gonna let this shit go.
And he was unable because Nature Boy Ric Flair hooked the ankles. Classic.
Yeah, my son fucking loves the Demon.
Which allows the lariat.
Big running lariat by Barry Windham.
I don't watch, like, I watched parts of Raw. Like, I've watched the John Cena Cody stuff, but like, I don't watch enough of Raw to understand what's going on. Like, I have no fucking idea why half of the Mania matches are happening. I haven't seen the angles or the promos to set them up. I just know that they're happening.
Yeah, he comes in with a vengeance, but he's against both Flair and Windham, and Big Josh is in no position to help out.
Look at Morton fight back. Ricky Morton fighting back with all he's got.
Yeah, Nick Patrick would not say something if he saw bullshit on the subway.
Now what's Tommy Rich doing back out here?
I love the idea that Ricky Morton was just brought in to do the comeback. Like, shit, Tommy Rich can't do a good comeback. Let's just get Ricky Morton in there to do it. Yeah, Tommy Rich and Ricky Morton did tag together. There was that Halloween Havoc match where they dressed as greasers. I have no fucking idea what happened. Tommy Rich is back out there. But somehow the guy that wasn't in the match got pinned. What the fuck? And Big Josh was punching him in the shoulder? What? This is falling apart. This is a mess. For the amount of talent involved, everyone just kind of lost track of what's happening. Of course. It's like, shit, I might almost hit him. I need to stop. There's a claw. There's Sid.
Bishop says he's the biggest giant in WCW. Big Josh has got the
Sid Vicious is riding El Gigante. Big Josh is, there we go. He's using the axe handle. Big Josh is swinging an axe handle without a blade. Very casual pitch to commercial. Oh my God, oh my God. Sting is next. Yeah, we had to protect Tommy Rich after he wrestled all those damn matches. Have to make sure he doesn't get buried by losing. There's Sting in all caps. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun. Lou Fabiano. Look at this guy's back here. I've seen it a few times. It's fucking awesome. Because he has a lot of it, but there's like a patch down the middle that is as smooth as a baby's ass. You know, all those babies' asses that we touch. To prove that they are smooth. Back hair shaved areolas, yeah. Yeah, there's the one kid with the Sting wrestling buddy that I'm sure he was handed by a cameraman. It's like, shit, we have to avoid all the drunk, passed out, middle-aged men in the crowd.
On January the 11th in the Meadowlands, when he lost it, it was certainly controversial.
Like, it looks like he got waxed down the middle, and he's like, fuck, we can't do this anymore.
And Sting will have the opportunity to gain a measure of revenge in the Meadowlands on Thursday night, April the 4th, as Lou Fabiano from New York with those right hands, but the Stinger fires right back out of the corner.
Lou Fabiano looks like an actor. I'm trying to think of who it is.
About his aspirations, straight right hand. Man, he's got so much enthusiasm.
Yeah, but look at Fabiano. He keeps coming back for more. He doesn't back up at all.
Elbow there by the Stinger.
Fuck is his name?
Fabiano almost
Trying to look it up.
Big right hand. Lot of authority.
Now there's no almost about it.
Sting forcing Fabiano back into the corner.
David Krumholtz. Thank you. David Krumholtz.
And he's a man that
not Artie Lang, no. I'm not thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking of David Krumholtz. I don't know if you guys have seen him lately. He looks kind of like this.
I understand that, Paul.
I can see Artie Lang. I wasn't thinking of Artie Lang. But yeah, if you see any recent David Krumholtz, he looks like this dude. Remember that weird, like, pandemic Raw? Where fucking David Krumholtz comes out as Drew McIntyre randomly, and they don't acknowledge that it's actually a famous actor. They just treat him like he's an indie guy doing a parody. So weird. Hey, Bravo. I could see that. Adrian Adonis in the Brooklyn Brawler. I could see that. But
offensive weapons. Watch this. Heights. The big splash. He was in the line.
Wow, Sting's finishing it with a move that's not either of his moves. Good chance he was a bouncer at Sin City in the Bronx. At least Scott. Hey, Sting has armpit hair.
Ever seen Sting utilize this maneuver off the top rope? Here you see him, the Stinger himself.
A poo a jobby. I'm gonna go take a jobby.
If he can hook this on Nature Boy Ric Flair, he might.
You're not hooking anything. You're just jumping from the top.
That's right, Jim Ross.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea why they brought David Krumholtz to Tampa. But yeah, they brought him to a Thunderdome show. Chopper is a bigger poo. Sting, camera's right here, buddy. I always love when Sting would call him Rossi.
No, it's not my wild personality. No, it's Ric Flair. I can't get my mind off Rick. I can't get my mind off a big giant cage. I can't get my mind
Big
off
giant
the world
cage.
title. Ric Flair, big cage, maybe a special referee, maybe El Gigante. I don't care who it is, where it is, what it is. Ricky, baby,
What it
I haven't
is.
forgotten about you, pal.
Fans there on a collision course. Nature Boy Ric
I need
Flair,
to
Stinger for the world
fix this
title.
ad situation. I keep
Tag team action.
setting it for less ads, and then it will reset it when I log out. Fuck. I don't like the number of ads I'm seeing you guys get. And I'm gonna go in tomorrow and I don't like that. Shady business from Twitch. All right, some more Dustin Rhodes. This time he's with the Young Pistols. Moved to Wyoming. More State Patrol with America's favorite podcaster, Dutch Mantel.
And his main man, Diamond Dallas Page.
I smell a Dutch Mantel.
Eat your heart out. That's right. Diamond Dallas Page, chairman of the board of the Diamond Exchange,
With all of the managers. It's a literal stable of corner people.
You know, DDP, they're after the same things we are, and that's tag team titles. But Young Pistols, get this. The next time you meet the Freebirds, we're going to teach you a lesson you'll not soon forget. You got it.
Well, thank you, Will. Yeah, I'm sorry about this. I'm gonna. Yeah, I need to go in and. If it fucking resets the deal again on me, I'm gonna try to get a hold of Twitch, whatever customer service, whatever the hell it's called.
Oh, most definitely. But I'll tell you what I'm excited about is right here. You're seeing one of the top contenders for the world.
Better body hair, Dutch or Lou. Dutch has more. Dutch definitely wins in volume, but I think Lou's is prettier, more creative. I'm gonna go Lou. Why is Dutch teaming with the State Patrol? I assume some sort of probation.
He's 6'6", 260. Up and over. Great agility too with this big kid. And there's that lariat.
Dustin Rhodes is like a foot taller than the State Patrol. Yeah, Dutch has the body hair. You can see it if you ever like have one of his podcast clips come across your feed. You can still see it like poking through his shirt.
Poke to the eye by the lieutenant on Steve of the Young Pistols.
By the way, I forgot to say it. Jonathan Chekhov, the Armstrong bingo spot. We have an Armstrong.
They executed the clothesline, and now referee Nick Patrick will exercise a 10 count.
And it looks like the lieutenant is getting to
He must be so pissed that he had to let go of the ropes to count.
Shoulder block by Lieutenant James Earl Wright. And the leapfrog by Steve. And high cross body there.
That cross body.
Leg, but the lieutenant powered out. Arm drag by Steve.
And he's keeping the lieutenant. And let me ask you this. Does this new trio make Dustin Rhodes a Young Pistol, or does it make Steve and Tracy a pair of naturals?
I don't think they both have their own identity, Paul. I don't think it makes either or here. The Young Pistols are the Young Pistols.
And the guns on the back of the Young Pistols trunks look like that episode of It's Always Sunny where they had the dick invitations to the party. It's supposed to be the bicep, but it's obviously a dick.
That could be Barney, Gomer, and Warren for all I know.
Miguel Ferrer very hairy. Again, a lot of volume. A lot of volume on these guys. I still say Lou Fabiano's hair not growing in the middle makes his stand out more.
They know that it is inevitable that they must meet the Freebirds somewhere down the line to get in contention for a championship.
Oh, Tracy almost phantom bumped.
Tracy thrown over the top rope, but he comes right
his
back
his
in.
feet hit the floor.
And Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker is going to be rolled up here. 1, 2.
God, if Buddy Landell was in this match.
Parker goes outside. Went for a shoulder block, but nobody there.
I love when Tracy danced. In ECW, on the Indies. Even when he was a heel in WCW, he danced a bit. I love Tracy's dancing.
Lineup they got this year, they're going to be dead last.
Well, they've been dead last. They need to, maybe they'll improve this year. I mean, next to the last, maybe. Hope they're better.
I don't think they will be, though.
Benny, you sort of Tracy sucks chant. Everybody dies. Double make a ultra mass homicide. Pretty much. Like, I think Nick Patrick got hurt as a wrestler, and that's why he's a referee. But still, like, yeah. I never heard anything like impressive about him as a wrestler. And he's a wrestler's kid. He was like 6'5", like you said.
Especially with Dutch Mantel there.
Dirty Dutch Mantel from Oil Trough, Texas. Battle of Longhorns here. Dustin from Austin. Dirty Dutch from Oil Trough. Can't say has ever been through.
You genuinely cannot tell when Dutch's head hair ends.
Right hands by
when his body hair begins.
And there's wasn't known as a perfect
Yeah, it is
match,
awesome.
but
Dustin's
performed,
still
and Mandel
keeping it
would
up,
like to
man.
have him out.
Okay, you can go to a commercial now.
I don't know if you all have seen on social media, Dustin is trying to do another King of the Road match.
Much like you, Paul, we only
Like
have
he's
one
like
director, and he's
pushing
always
for it.
We'll go to the break.
Mr. Perfect Way, thank you so much for the follow.
Tracy up and over the top.
Appreciate you bringing the flat soda and the crackers, my friend. Thank you so much. Have a seat, hang out.
Kevin Sullivan, along with a one-man
There has to have been an
band
instance where Dutch's head hair tangled into his back hair.
Missy Hyatt, on the other hand, will be talking to Lex Luger, the U.S. champion.
I read that too fast. I just saw that Nick Patrick transitioned, and I was confused. Okay, Nick suffered a knee injury in '85, which ended his career and transitioned into referee. Gotcha. Thank you, Yankee Hawk, as always, for the facts.
Well, I personally think when the Young Pistols
I wouldn't put it past Tony to, like, just do it.
tag team matches the fans will have the opportunity to see.
I could see that MXM versus Sons of Texas feud somehow ending up in a giant fucking truck.
Who do you think's going to win that match?
I'm sure those guys, those MXM dudes would love it.
Yeah, but Beautiful Bobby has loused up the whole York Foundation.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, Mr. Perfect. Thank you.
My Uncle Moisha, the people
Glad to have you.
agreed with me.
Elbow right off the second rope. Is he out?
Very much appreciative of you bringing them snacks.
Here comes
I can able to be very proud.
Dustin Rhodes again fighting out of the corner.
Nick Patrick. The referee, he would always lose every match because he'd be grabbing onto the ropes while he has a hold on. The referee's like, let go of the ropes. Nick's like, I can't let go. Fall over.
No, it didn't happen, but look what the lieutenant did.
I think the problem with King of the Road was that they just didn't know how to shoot it. I think if they put in like a little more prep work, it would have been fine.
I mean, just because Dustin does one thing smart doesn't mean that the opponents are.
But they just kind of half-assed the production of it. And you can't do that with something that elaborate. Zachary Attack. Look at that. Thank you for the sub. I'll put that one in my syringe.
Sunday night, April 14th, and upper level tickets have been family priced at only $5. I suggest you get them early.
Actually, therapy. How sweet. Thank you for giving out them subs. Therapy's really coming in the clutch with them gift subs. Thank you so much, Therapy. Nick was undefeated in submission matches. He was just always doing rope breaks.
Fans want to thank you for your outstanding response last
Yeah, King of the Road would have been better in HD. You had, you know,
you'll have a couple more opportunities in the next few
maybe have some cameras mounted.
Such as?
Go ahead, you're dying to tell them.
Well, since you brought it up, this Wednesday on the Wrestling Hotline between 7 and 8:30 Eastern Time, if you call up, you can talk to me.
I think it was.
Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker just tripped Tracy.
That's a rare time I've seen the heel come out on top in a crisscross spot. Very interesting. Yeah, you definitely got to have those drones. Got to have those drones involved.
WCW will also be on the Fans Jam on the hotline at 7.
Nobody cares about that. What they really care about
Gosh,
is that
I can see
Wednesday
that.
they call the Wrestling Hotline between 7 and 8:30 Eastern.
That rope spot was great. The crisscross. I love a good crisscross. Crisscross is rule. Also love crisscross. I love wearing my shit
I know a lot of
backwards.
stories about you in Oklahoma.
Looks like he's going for a pile driver, trying to get him up.
Ah.
And Tracy blocked it. Got his leg.
I also grunt like that when I see Tracy Smothers spread eagle like that. Seriously. Ever since someone pointed that out to me a while ago, I cannot stop looking at Nick Patrick grabbing the damn rope.
Dustin Rhodes back in.
It's like, yeah, see, he's back on it. Let go.
So he wouldn't feel left out. Now all six
The ring will not fall apart if you're not touching it. There we go, Bulldog. Boom. I love a bump, too, by James Earl Wright. There we go. I do want to jump for the crisscross.
Fans, this is our Nintendo instant replay.
And now his pants are falling down. Maybe his pants would have been falling down if he kept his hands at his waist. Hello, Eddie. Thank you so much for the follow.
Dustin Rhodes and the Young
Much
Pistols.
appreciated. Eddie Sensei. Hello,
The
hello.
Bulldog headlock, and it's a victory for Dustin Rhodes and the Young Pistols.
Yeah, Nick was so pissed. He's like, well, he doesn't want to touch the mat.
Owen Hart is here, and a very special.
Yeah, I agree, Trax. That Mark Davis pile driver? Hell yeah. Love it. Yes, the flat soda and the crackers. I love it. Bring me all the flat soda and half-eaten crackers. Share it with our friends here in the Erotic Eric Fontaine camp. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, thank you. Nick has a rope fetish.
Introducing first, 1/3 of the world six-man tag team champions from North Carolina.
Hey, it's more JYD. Okay, we're just shooting right into the lights. I fucking hate that. Jim Boss. I love the fact that Jim Boss was a regular enhancement guy, while Jim Ross was calling WCW TV.
Yeah, but this isn't football, it's wrestling.
I understand that, Paul.
Oh!
So many of our soldiers, fighting men and women, made it back.
Yeah, it's not Jim Ross, it's Jim Boss.
Operation Desert Shield.
Jim Ross is on commentary.
And we're especially glad that those gentlemen are back. I've been corresponding with the
Jim
82nd
the
Airborne
Boss.
since they've been gone.
Oh!
JYD bringing back Boss into the ring.
You think Lee Scott is like, these guys aren't killing themselves enough? Let me do it.
They sure sacrifice a lot for our freedom. Maybe you should be more thankful. Headbutt there by Junkyard Dog.
Looks to me like Jim Boss is making a real big sacrifice here.
Fans, don't forget now, as we mentioned.
Wedgie Driver, I think we got coming up.
Fans Jam. You'll be able to talk
Nope.
to the top stars on WCW beginning.
Why is he selling it like he heard something really loud? Oh no!
Calls live this Wednesday night at 7 o'clock on the Wrestling Hotline.
Ooh.
Call Paul E and tell him anything that you would like.
He took it on his side, but he sold his butt cheek on the other side of his body.
You never had enough guts to say.
Jim Ross never wrestled. He refereed.
Your guts are all right.
And then, yeah, went to commentary.
JYD with the
Kid, listen, the rope thing, it's mine. You gotta get your own thing. Derek, hello, Derek. Thank you for the follow. You have so much flat soda and half-eaten crackers tonight. Love it, I love it. Thank you all. Shout out to Derek, Derek and Eddie and Mr. Perfect Way, Nelson. JYD has incredibly loud balls. Click, clack, click, clack. Blade Kings, thank you for the follow. Hopefully someday they'll add some of this stuff you want to WWE 2K. JYD wins and looks confused. He did kiss JYD's nose. JYD is baffled as to where he is in that moment.
JYD made short work of Jim Boss.
I asked you a question.
Well, it's the director's call.
Well, who's the director?
Oh, shut up, will you? Here's a big
shut up.
Junkyard Dog. JYD over 300 pounds. And, man, he nailed that one with authority. Well, we were going to break, but let's still go to Missy Hyatt.
This show is pre-taped.
Why?
Mr. Dog, I would just like to know, last week you told
Oh my god, there is nobody in that fucking building.
between Ron Simmons and Butch
Sharon
Reed.
Snowflakes.
I mean, in a week's time, has anything changed?
Like I told you before, we're all from the same side of town. I don't particularly like Butch Reed. I don't particularly like Ron Simmons. I don't particularly
Get it?
like
They're from the
Jim
same
Ross, but
side
their
of
business
town?
is their business. I don't
Get
know
it?
if it's Ron Simmons' fault. I don't know if it's Butch Reed's fault. It could be Teddy Long's fault.
Missy was like, "You're a black guy. What do you think about Doom?"
Hey, yo, little mama, you step back, let the brothers talk.
My-
Fred Dog,
I
listen,
fucking
man.
love Teddy.
You talking to me now, the black gangster love. Why you out here knocking the brothers? I thought you was a brother. What's the matter, brother?
Is he calling him a race trader?
Yo, Fred Dog, check this
Little
out,
mama.
check this out. Come on, brother. Don't knock the brothers. I'm your man. I'm your main man. What's the matter?
Oh my gosh. I don't feel like I should be talking about any of this. I don't feel like I'm equipped.
So don't lay your hand on when I'm talking. See?
Okay, brother dog. Okay, brother dog. Peace.
Brother Dog.
The only piece you gonna get, Teddy Long, is a piece of me. And matter of fact, now I got the solution. The solution is
Hot.
Is the nastiest individual.
Shopzilla, thank you for the follow. Oh my goodness. All sorts of follows happen. Junkyard Dog is a confirmed draw. Incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For WCW gift catalog, spelt the fancy way.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to World Championship Wrestling. Jim Ross back with you here on TBS. We want to go back to last week's broadcast. It was Terrence Taylor representing the York Foundation taking on beautiful.
God damn, more fucking Terry Taylor.
Between those two individuals and another man that has been eliminated from the elimination process with the York Foundation.
The eliminated from the elimination process. Jim didn't go, hey, let's maybe do another take. Somebody get me a thesaurus.
Well, Taylor's in big trouble right here.
Oh, he's got that computer.
Whoa!
He caught beautiful Bobby right in the throat with
the classic word processor to the throat finish.
I couldn't see that. He got him with
Yeah, this is Tommy Tuesday. This is not fucking Terry Tuesday. Yeah, where is Tommy? Where's Tommy Rich?
He's telling the referee exactly the truth. Exactly.
The Department of Redundancy Department. Nick Patrick again holding the rope.
With a clothesline from way downtown, almost decapitating the Z-Man. The Z-Man certainly makes his presence known, and it's certainly upset Terrence Taylor. Right now, we want to go back to the ring. Our ring announcer, Tony Gillum, is standing by, and we're going to see
Tony Gillum.
the Z-Man in one-on-one competition.
Petri. No, that was Rhubarb Jones. Tony Gillum was the Petri DJ. Other way around, Dusty did not like Terry Taylor. There's that story of Dusty having his headphones on. Hey, Mike Thor. Everyone's favorite lesbian, Mike Thor. That famous story of Dusty wearing headphones on the airplane, and Terry thought he was listening to something, so he did a Dusty impression, and Dusty didn't have any music on. That much going on in the ring. Got to make sure the ropes don't get jiggly. Love it, Brian. How did Hughes get booked so many places for so long? I like Mr. Hughes, but also he's big. Big ass man. Yeah, for those of you that have never seen it, they did an angle in late '92. I think it was at the Clash, where it was supposed to be Paulie and Medusa, and they sent out Mike Thor as Medusa. This guy was sent out as Medusa.
Because he does have a college degree and he's an educated individual, he can do it on his own. Now, we know that we heard those comments. I want to mention that.
According to Jim Ross, you just need a college education to be a good wrestler.
About Ron Simmons, Butch Reed, and the Teddy Long
situation. Yeah, I think like the current NXT crop is like the first set of wrestlers to ever like Terry Taylor.
It begins at 7 o'clock, and for you great fans in the Gainesville area, not only want to encourage you to bring your posters and banners,
but he was nice to Triple H when Triple H was first breaking in, so he's got a job for life.
This Monday at the Gainesville box office.
And not just that, but this Tuesday in Anderson, South Carolina, yet another big national TV taping, and from what I understand,
Randy Anderson, that's Nick Patrick's spot. Let go of the damn ropes.
Every single wrestler in WCW will boycott.
Oh my God, Mike Thor would totally be a great trios member of the State Patrol. That's a cop-looking dude.
No, it doesn't. Nice move there by the Z-Man. There's a crossbody press.
Smooth little move doing the foot slide.
I thought he may have him right there.
I tell you what, the Z-Man better be careful of Mike Thor, because Thor is a bitter individual. How would you like to go through life with that haircut?
Well, it would be challenging.
There we go.
Floyd the barber from Mayberry.
That's right, Brian. You were a high-ranking member of the TV station, and again, you are a Caucasian, so Terry Taylor loved you. Yeah, Mr. Hughes was a legit insomniac. Would fall asleep in the corner during tag matches.
If he was managed by Ms. Alexandra York, he wouldn't be doing stuff like that. He'd be winning matches instead of concentrating.
Listen, you are a VP of something. You have letters. So to a wrestler, you might as well have owned Spike TV.
Steps right in, hip locks him. Nice drop kick.
I will give him credit. He does have one of the most impressive drop kicks in all of World Championship Wrestling.
Well, he gets to the top
Grabbed him by the mullet.
You can Call the dogs. Call them in. It's over. The hunt is history at that point.
Call whom?
Call the dogs.
Dogs? How come you can't say that?
I don't think I said that like that.
Dogs. Dogs!
Oh!
I don't talk that way.
Ooh.
Belly suplex. Down here, dogs.
If you come to the Meadowlands
Well, Terry Allen.
April 4th,
Oh, shit.
you'll hear exactly how to say that word. Dogs.
Not a super kick, a good kick, not a super one.
He caught Thor right on the
There's his drop kick.
And wait a minute. There's a glimpse of Terry Taylor's coming in the ring.
Used to Shabzilla, my uncle used to sell a certain thing to Tom Zink. He used to call him Big Irwin. Love that. Big Irwin. Yeah, how did Terry Taylor change so fast?
Terry Taylor from behind. Taylor now stomping away at the Z-Man. Mr. Hughes is...
Yeah, when he was doing that Harley race cosplay in 2004. Yeah, Triple H was pretty much like 1.25 Terry Taylor. I love a dude like Bobby Eaton having such loud, flamboyant pants. Dude, Z-Man was jizz-act. He's like a Mr. Minnesota in bodybuilding. He's one of the few dudes that lost size to get into wrestling. Well.
Wrap up, as you know, many teams are vying now for the honor of trying to gain the U.S. Tag Team Championships formerly held by the Steiner brothers. In one situation, of course, we do have the Young Pistols,
like DDP and Big Daddy Dink,
who want those titles, and then you have the fabulous Freebirds, former World Tag Team champions.
Bobby ruled.
You've got Big Daddy Dink, Diamond Dallas Page with the Freebirds. Well, a situation occurred this past week on the Danger Zone that I think bears reliving at this time.
You weren't there.
All right, Bravo. See you later. Have a good one. See you down the road. See you soon.
From Jimmy Jam Garvin and Michael P.S. Hayes. You weren't
Yeah, this is when they were trying to give Bobby like a actual singles push. It's like a fuck you to Cornette.
They were stolen from us. But things are going to change never again.
Can't even keep a straight face while rubbing Oliver Humperdinck.
Without Big Daddy right there in the corner. But you know what? This isn't the end for the fabulous
Big Daddy right there in the corner. He got paid to go on television and call himself Big Daddy. He got to make a living doing that. That's the dream. I think the minutes ever make the Hall of Fame. I don't think so. I don't think so.
The Young Pistols, it doesn't matter who it is, one way or another. I promised Diamond Dallas Page that we're going to get those belts back. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
Well, actions speak louder than words when it comes
to the
Young Pistols and, of course, the
listen, young lady, we'll pay you $250. Wear your lowest cut dress.
We're going to be
all you have to do is stand there and rub this guy.
This match has come about as a result of an injury that Pillman received.
Stan and JC were gone fall of 90, and then like November 90 up until like fall 91, they tried to push Bobby as a babyface.
The War Games, there's nothing like it. He's over the top, landing on his shoulder.
Yeah, Condrey. I know Condrey pops up whenever AEW runs the Carolinas. So, like, I know Dax and Cash have access to him. Not that that helps WWE. Yeah, and I cannot. I think Cornette's too insane even for TKO WWE. With some of the folks that they're bringing, I think Cornette's still too fucking crazy.
Pillman, Barry Windham, tomorrow night, 6:05, here on TBS on The Main Event. As you know, of course, I told you that we'd be bringing you videotaped highlights regarding the World Championship match between Ric Flair and...
I think maybe if they still have that legacy
place in the Egg Dome recently in Tokyo, Japan. May I just say that
where you don't have to actually bring in somebody for an induction, I could see them going in there.
That the videotape has been held up.
Oh no, you don't put Randy Rhodes in there, no.
That Ric Flair is still
Stan Dennis Bobby Cornette
champion, but as I said, international controversy surrounding it. The tape has been held up for review, and we will have that tape for you next week here on the wrap-up. I'm looking forward to bringing it to you as soon as the issue has been resolved.
You
Now
don't.
then,
You don't
if you'd
look
like to
forward to
subscribe
it.
to the Wrestling
You're gonna
Wrap-Up,
forget the
here's
second they turn
exactly
off
how
that
you
camera.
can do it. Pay attention to the following words.
Paying attention.
Is done.
The time to act is now. Bring the action of World Championship.
Why are you still talking? The time for talking is done.
Subscribing to the Wrestling Wrap-Up. Act now and get a year's subscription to wrestling's most informative news monthly for just $24.95. That's more than 50% off the cover price. The Wrestling Wrap-Up is not available in stores, so subscribe now by calling 404-827.
Yeah, if you put Randy Rose into the Hall of Fame with the Midnights, yeah, that's a slippery slope. Big Stan is as far as you can go. I said, hey, look, it's Owen Hart. One of his handful of WCW matches. Yeah, they really wanted Owen as a regular. But he didn't want to give up Japan and Austria. Yeah, Wrestling Wrap-Up wasn't in stores. You had to, like, call the number and actually subscribe to it. Joe Kazana, who is still active in wrestling. He's, like, managing in the NWA, I believe. And he's promoting.
The article I read, that his potential is so unlimited that the Canadian sports writers really feel.
Yeah, like, the idea was Owen was going to form a team with Brian Pillman. They even had a name for, they were going to call them Wings. Exactly, Brian. Yeah, if you put in Randy Rose in the Hall of Fame with the Midnights, you got to put in Paul Roma with the Horsemen. You got to put in Michael Wall Street with the NWO.
Fans, don't forget the big doubleheader tomorrow, 2 o'clock in Rainsville, Alabama, and at 7:30 tomorrow night.
Yeah, so Owen did get to tag up with Ricky Morton a couple times. They did. I think they did like 1 or 2 matches together. But yeah, the long-term idea was they wanted to put Owen and Pillman together.
The Georgia Mountain Center on Monday night for the national television taping.
Well, there should be with the big main event that's headed to Gainesville, and there should be a sellout crowd again in Anderson, South Carolina.
I wouldn't be surprised if Hornswoggle goes in the next couple years for the Hall of Fame.
Owen Hart wants to make a big name for himself.
I wouldn't. Like,
TV tapings this week, he has to get by Joe Kazana.
Like, it's been long enough since his run. He's alive. He's well. He was very memorable.
Several others come to mind, but this young man may be the standard that they're all compared to as far as quickness is concerned, as he works on that arm of Kazana, the overhand wristlock position.
I don't think Ricky Morton's going to be moving too quickly after the beating he suffered at the hands of Barry Windham and Ric Flair this evening.
He will, of course, live to fight another day.
How do you know that?
Yeah, Hornswoggle doesn't have outside issues. He's been on Fox News a lot lately, so they'll love that.
He's a tough customer, I can tell you that. Owen Hart now working on that wrist.
Yeah, just incredible to have to go in with the click if you're just going back and inducting Randy Rose. That Randy Rose line is just, you don't mess with it. Yeah, Hornswoggle's done some talking head spots on Fox News over the last year or so.
Whoa, what's this?
Great agility there. He's not gone, Joe. He's right behind
Oh,
him.
I would genuinely not be surprised if Brodus Clay eventually goes in the Hall of Fame in the next couple of years.
Offense, that's backwards, retreating. Owen Hart comes at you from about seemingly a million different directions.
I remember that Stephen J. Neptune, man. They found, yes, the one studio picture they took of Owen during this run.
This young man,
it was so old, and
speaking of
yeah.
Owen Hart, for professional wrestling when he was about 8 or 9 years of age.
It is stunning the amount of wrestlers
His father was a great star
that do stuff for Fox News. Tyrus, Hornswoggle, Bubba Dudley has been on there a couple times I've seen.
Down to his training camp and just beat him up until they couldn't take it anymore.
Nice move there by Owen. Hip lock takes over Joe.
You know, they interview Kane a lot. I love that head scissors.
Almost effortlessly.
Yeah, Flair was on there. Y'all hear about the Ric Flair Act? North Carolina, there's a bipartisan bill being introduced to fund a pro wrestling Hall of Fame. And it's called the Ric Flair Act, which definitely sounds like something completely different.
And now he's going to the top.
Well, JBL got famous on Fox Business,
Isn't this a high-risk maneuver?
which I know same owners, but it is a little different. Oh shit!
Not for Owen Hart. Grapevines the legs, and he's got another victory.
The winner of the match, Owen Hart.
Owen Hart.
Lex Luger, the United States heavyweight champion.
That was fun. I don't think it was an especially good squash match, but it's interesting seeing Owen in WCW.
From Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Well, obviously he survived his father's training.
Oh yeah, Joe Kazana was too far out on that.
But Owen Hart makes up for it and pins Joe Kazana 1, 2, 3.
Fans will take a
This
look
entrance
at
music's
the newest
fucking
workout
terrible,
from the
by the
Dungeon,
way.
Nikita Koloff. That next on TV.
It just sounds like a kid playing around on a Casio. As opposed to Jerry Lawler's Law, which states that if you can remember the Attitude Era, don't talk to high school girls.
Thanks for staying with us here,
Thank
everyone,
you,
on
Brian.
TBS. Jim Ross back with you on World Championship Wrestling. We want to go now back to the dungeon. Nikita Koloff is anxiously awaiting his U.S. Heavyweight Championship matchup.
I love that Owen Hart was on this show, but there's another guy that has a dungeon. Buddy. Ah. We need to get you a membership to Planet Fitness, bud.
Luger, as you can see,
Look at my flags.
I'm training hard for you.
I love that they made it look like total shit, but they made sure to hang those flags up nice and pretty.
Where it belongs, around the West. I'm the
The future liberals want.
Two things I want you to remember, Luger. Two things.
Oh, this is the one. I love this. This is insane.
The Russian sickle.
For anybody who's ever had a Galoob figure, you'll realize how insane that is what he just did. He just bit the head off of one of those things. Oh, this weekend. Oh, okay. This matches up WrestleMania 7 weekend. Thank you, Stephen J. Neptune, man. That put some things into context. No, that was not a removable head. Those things were solid. It was a single cast. Like, you could not make a dent in it with your teeth. That motherfucker's bam! Like I had those things. Those things were indestructible. And Nikita's is like, that made it look like he was eating a peanut. Terry Bronson looking like Snake Watson's drinking buddy.
I'll tell you something, by the looks of that workout.
Luger versus Bob Ross.
That meeting is going to be one.
I hope that figure was gimmicked. But knowing how they were back then, they probably didn't gimmick it as like a rib on him, and he still did it. All right, LJH, have a good night. Thank you for the hang as always. See you next time.
WCW. Lex Luger on the other hand.
Yes.
His body fat is 7%.
Terry Bronson is Nikita before the gym.
Uncanny.
Oh, it's very uncanny. I mean, Luger's in.
That's a good point, goes to Brett Purnas.
But he's going to be stepping into the ring against
USSR fell just a few months after this. We have Lex Luger to thank for that.
Koloff does not want to win the belt for the Soviet
Yes,
Union.
those things were only slightly softer than hockey pucks.
He wants to win it
Like,
for his own personal glory.
He certainly has turned his back on the fans that supported
those things
him
are
for so long.
hard,
Lex Luger,
solid.
on the other hand, has not done that. He is certainly loyal and appreciative of the support that the fans around the country give this tremendous athlete.
So happy for Lex going in the Hall of Fame. Speaking of the Hall of
Later
Fame,
in our broadcast and on his thoughts about
Nikita had his own reality show
well, Paul, that's an assignment.
about how he didn't want his daughter to fuck anybody.
Darn show. And that's just not the way it is. You know,
It was on like Lifetime, I think.
you take it up with somebody else.
Yes, Lifetime. Thank you, Green Boy.
I'm tired of hearing you whining about it.
Well, then take her off the show, and I won't talk about it anymore.
Armbar by Luger.
It was like right before the pandemic, I think.
Luger quizzed by the referee that he pulled the hair. Luger says, "You got to be kidding."
Well, Luger's in phenomenal shape. Just look at the muscular definition.
It's something like Preacher's Daughter, yeah. And the whole gag was his daughter's like, oh, I want to kiss all these boys, and he's like, you better not.
Bronson with a forearm in the
Keep enough space in there for Jesus. I think his kayfabe name is his real name now. I think his real name's Nikita Koloff now.
It's unfortunate that he cares nothing about the fans.
He's like Warrior.
this time, when he meets Luger, it will not be in a sneak attack like it was at Wrestle War when he hit him in the face with the
Terry
belt.
Bronson seems like he'd be fun to hang out with.
Face to face, and that's going to be a real all-out war.
Love the star on his ass. Yeah, Luger of that class, of this year's Hall of Fame class. John Tenta, Fred Ottman, and Lex Luger are the ones I'm excited for.
Pressing Bronson very, very easily in his workouts.
Like most so for Luger and Tenta.
600 pounds. That's a scary weight. And there's the power slam.
Which obviously is going to set Terry Bronson up for the human torture rack.
Lex Luger is really looking forward to what he says will be his most physical battle for the U.S. title. It will be against the Russian Nightmare, and it's coming soon.
What kept Luger out of the Hall of Fame for so long? It's a combination of his troubled past and the fact that he was a WCW guy. I guarantee that shit was part of it. Like, he had to prove that he had really turned his life around. And plus, I think having that in with DDP, like DDP stamping the endorsement. Because there seems to be a deal where, like, every time DDP rehabs a guy, they get in the Hall of Fame. Wow, wow. That's right. Nikita Koloff was on America's Funniest People. I remember that, Brian. Why is Missy shouting all of her lines?
I've seen them. I've had enough of them. Nikita Koloff, you say you're ready? Well, the total package is just as ready for you. You want this?
Dude, I didn't bother trying to put other kids in torture racks. I knew I would get hurt.
You've been training on Nikita Koloff. Check it out. Because I've been
Yeah, that sounds right. He changed it while he was wrestling. Just in case he ever went somewhere else, he would have his name. I've seen people suggest DDP should get his own award. The WWE Hall of Fame changed the Warrior Award to the DDP Award, which it's the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm happy for folks who are happy to go in, but it's bullshit. It's all bullshit, really.
And of course, team number one will be.
Like that was Lex Luger's goal, and Lex Luger turned his life around to get that goal. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for John Tenta's family, that John is getting this attention, and his family will be getting the money from it. That's awesome. That's the part I'm happy with.
You're a real jerk, you know that.
But I mean,
That's right, you got the main man.
it's just whoever they want to sign to a legend deal. Why is DDP so wet?
I'm being proud and I'm drawing a crowd. Why?
Being proud and I'm drawing a crowd. Alright, Stephen J. Neptune Man, this day in history. Hello. The Rockets beat the Knicks. The Bulls beat the Pacers. In the NHL, the Flyers beat the Rangers. And the #1 song in America, One More Time by Timmy T. One More Try by Timmy T. And the #1 movie in America, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the News. No, Secret of the Ooze. I would not be surprised if New Jack goes in. Larry Santo and Greg Sawyer. Love Larry Santo. L's son. But no, knowing now that Nick Khan is a genuine big fan of New Jack, I would not be surprised if he goes in. Those are some sweet ass country western shits. Pretty little keys. Oni asks, what are my thoughts on TNA firing Gail Kim? It's bullshit. She'll land on her feet. If she wants to still be in wrestling, I guarantee she'll have a job in a month.
Not for the Young Pistols, it won't be.
It's clear TNA is preparing to shift all the elements that WWE wants in a sale over. And they're doing it slowly, so it doesn't look like they're doing any sort of monopoly fuckery after that MLW lawsuit.
I mean, I don't care if it's in Amarillo or Odessa on
I could
Wednesday.
definitely see Gale
I
going
don't
to
care if it's
AEW.
in Lubbock or in San Angelo on Thursday. I don't care if it's Friday in Charleston, South Carolina. They get their hands on the Steiners, they're going to be the next World Tag Team Champions.
The Freebirds tights are way too fucking cool for those two. Those are some sweet ass tights. Greg Sawyer in the ring, no relation to the 19 other Sawyers in wrestling.
The York Foundation still to come. I'm going to talk to Miss York and see if she'll reveal some of the people that may be.
Could you imagine having to put your face in Michael Hayes' hair?
Last week, she said that there were people under consideration.
Yeah, everybody in wrestling fucking loves Gail Kim.
Or Eaton and Z-Man, rather.
Everybody.
Will take on Landell and Taylor tomorrow on the main event here on TBS in what should be a tremendous matchup, along with Flying Brian and Barry Windham.
Yeah, you know, Flying Brian's been coming out like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, I think Delirious was mostly put in there to be like a yes man or whatever the real boss. Old HBK, whatever he wants.
I don't think Flying Brian has a chance.
He's there to say yes and to put into motion whatever makes it easiest to mesh TNA into the WWE umbrella.
Exclusively on TBS tomorrow night at 6:05.
I'm interested in how the politics of Gail Kim being so anti-WWE works out.
The Freebirds winning in the world of the U.S. Tag Team titles. I don't see why the Young Pistols can't be patient and just wait their turn.
I don't know how to word this responsibly.
Impatience. And they're great competitors.
There's been some shit with Gail and WWE.
Nice move there by Jimmy Garvin, pinning predicament with a lateral press.
That
kicked out. Garvin quickly tags in Michael Hayes. They make
if you know the discourse about WWE over the last couple of years,
Hayes caught Sullivan.
it's along those lines when it comes to
Boy, they need better competition
women in that company during the time that Gail was there.
Hayes now the reverse chin lock on Sawyer.
Yeah, there's a reason they never talk about it.
In action of the one-man gang, he'll be taking on Ranger.
Hello, Seinfeld. Hello, hello.
Paul's going to be talking to the very bizarre, and I use that word loosely. He is beyond bizarre, Kevin Sullivan. And I'm sure Theodore Long will be in their shadow because
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is even now, like things are too messy legally with them. I don't know if she'd go unless a settlement was reached.
Because they're going to be standing behind the one-man gang, and I think that spells big trouble for Ron Simmons.
Something was signed to kind of tidy up some things from the past.
Garvin, the legal man, back in the ring. Well, they are methodical. Since their allegiance with Diamond Dallas Page and Big Daddy Dink, the Freebirds have been on a real tear.
Yeah, Robert Irvine was out flicking like on a lot of anti-TNA tweets today. I saw a few pals of mine that tweeted about how big of bullshit it was that Gail got fired and Tommy Dreamer. Robert Irvine was liking a lot of them. So this is live on Twitch. The YouTube premiere is just going up on YouTube. Like I can't. I'm not reacting to YouTube comments in the future now. But if folks want to get in the chat and talk to each other, I read it in the morning after I wake up.
And they're running right into a clothesline of Big Daddy Dink, who is certainly no lightweight. Wait a minute. The Young Pistols are here.
Love that Jim Ross got in a little crack about Dink's weight.
Steve thrown outside, leaving Tracy in there with Hayes and Garvin. Big chop there by Hayes and another one.
Oh, it looks to me like
Big Daddy Dink.
right here.
Steve making his way back.
No problem. Yeah, it's a little messy, but it's weird if I upload like the long videos like this and do it as a live premiere, the numbers do better. It's bizarre than if I just put it up as another video.
Double shoulder block. Jimmy Jam Garvin rolling to safety. Fans will be back. This one is far from over. Terrence.
Yeah, Lil Guido. I think Guido was in Japan. Bow, bow. I wish I had a wall that looked like that.
The head of the York Foundation,
God
Alex
damn it, more Terry Taylor.
accompanying her is Mr.
Oh,
Hughes.
hey.
Here is her
Their match, she's literally wearing a blouse. Oh my god, they're matching. That's insane.
Well, he got the name right this week.
She found a dress that matches that jacket. I fucking love it. And hey, Joey Maggs again. Hell yeah, jumping Joey. My guy.
Hughes will give you a break. He'll give you a broken neck.
I don't plan on having any encounters.
I don't plan on having any broken necks. Like people plan on breaking their necks.
Bar Association?
What bar?
The American. He's a lawyer.
Yeah, it's weird how few people they're using on TV at this point.
There's the Leona Helmsley-like business leader of the York Foundation.
By the way, shout out to my SSRI gang.
Every bit as much the lady that Leona is.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Fans don't forget again.
Yeah, if Joey Maggs were to join the York Foundation, he would be jumping Joey. And hey, he's got some stubble. Looking handsome, looking smoldering. Is Joey Maggs.
But ever since he's been following the computerized program of Ms. Alexandra York, he has been absolutely unbeatable.
Well, you know, Paul, I talked to her last week, and she mentioned that she was had eliminated Beautiful Bobby and the Z-Man from consideration. We knew that, but she said something else I found somewhat dubious, that she was really never.
My pleasure, Jonathan.
Z-Man or
anything, yeah. Take your meds, get checked out, go to therapy.
She didn't tell the truth.
Well, then I tell you what you do. After this match is over, and I guarantee it'll be a victory for Terrence Taylor, why don't you scoot on up to ringside and confront her about this allegation?
Hello, MPW West Side. Thank you so much for the follow. Even more. Flat soda and half-eaten crackers. Thank you so much. Richard Morton was in June. When I was a kid, I liked the plain Jane wrestlers. The guys that didn't have fancy jackets, just like plain boots and tights. And Joey Maggs and Mark Starr didn't get more plain than that. And plus, I was a loser kid with low self-esteem. So I'm like, those are my guys, because they always lose. I'm a loser, they're a loser.
And that's all that really counts.
Another collar and elbow.
I'm surprised we don't have
Mr. Hughes.
A revamped York Foundation gimmick with AI. I'm stunned. That's not like an NXT thing. Like Robert Stone running around.
Something that I've tried never to do.
I'm sure he'll take real kindly to that.
Cross body. Joey Maggs went for a pin, got two out of that.
George South wasn't. I was a kid in like the early to mid '90s. George South. I don't remember. I mean, he was around, but like Joey Maggs was in every other fucking match.
Certainly an arrogant son of a gun since his association.
George South was a heel most of the time.
We do have to say that his one-loss record has been really sparkling since.
No worry, Liz Alvarado. Hello, hello. Got a couple more matches here. We're gonna go a little bit past the top of the hour.
And you know the thing about Terrence Taylor, he's not jealous of any of the individuals that
Hell of a cell there. Hell of a bump.
Well, that's nice to know, because knowing his bossy mentor, Miss York, he wouldn't have very much of a vote anyway. She's going to do what she wants. She certainly is the head honcho, so to speak, of that organization.
For example, on corporate stationery, he wrote Nature.
I was a Barry Horowitz guy. I was more of a WCW kid, though. So their enhancement guys really resonated with me more than the WWE ones.
You know, tomorrow in the main event is going to be Terrence Taylor and Buddy Landell. Taking on Beautiful Bobby Eaton.
Yeah, that's right. There was that weird couple-week period where Buddy Landell was like kind of with the York Foundation.
May bring out one of his former partners to join him tomorrow night.
God, I wish Buddy Landell ended up joining the York Foundation. That would have been great.
Even, consider bringing out his former manager, Paul.
I don't know. I mean, the guy's butt's so big he can't fit in an airplane seat. But the thing is that Beautiful Bobby is one of the greatest tag team wrestlers in the history of World Championship Wrestling. I don't know. It could be one of his two former partners, or it could even be somebody that we're not suspecting yet. Who could?
Oh yeah, your dad. That's great. Your dad's dead on.
I don't know.
What was my favorite member of the flock? Kidman and Saturn excluded. Sick Boy. Sick Boy was dope. I think I like Sick Boy more than I like Kidman.
And lots of season tickets still remaining for the Braves this year.
And I'm sure.
Oh, Dr. Bomb. Yeah, Terry Taylor is the finishing class coach. Like right before you get called up to the main roster, you're in Coach Terry's class where he posts shit on the WWE YouTube channel, unlisted, and then I get fucking copyright strikes for it.
We're going to find out just who she has her eye on, who she might be scouting. Terrence with mags up, and Taylor has been using that suit, that pile driver very effectively.
Why can nobody call moves today?
I tell you what, this Wednesday on the Wrestling Hotline,
The Sling Slut suplex, and now
it's a winning attitude. This
now Jim Ross forgetting what a pile driver's called.
7 and 8:30 Eastern Time when I take everybody's phone calls.
Does he have like a butt plug that he's rocking back and forth? Like you got Benoit balls going on up in there?
Or the computerized wrestler for the 1990s, Mr. Terrence Taylor.
If I get copyright struck, it depends. A lot of the time now, they just say, hey, you can't monetize it. Oh shit! But like if it's a WWE direct strike, I do have to either edit shit out or take it down entirely.
Blatant Choco there. He is so arrogant. He feels like he is above the rules.
Yeah, Terry Taylor was White Collar's buddy. Meltzer says he never talked to Terry. Whether you believe him or not, that's up to you. But yeah, Terry, if you go back and you read old torches, my pals Bix and Chris from Between the Sheets did a Patreon show where they just examined the history of Terry Taylor and the Dirt Sheets, and it became a parody of itself at one point. Friends of Terry Taylor, a person close to Terry Taylor, and it's just shit about Terry Taylor. This referee is Lee Scott, one of the all-time great enhancement wrestlers. Lee Scott became a referee around this time.
The computerized wrestler for the 1990s, Mr. Terrence Taylor, accompanied by Alexander York and the bodyguard Mr. Hughes with a 5-arm on Joey Maggs. Wham! 1, 2, 3 now.
Like the torch at the end of WCW, we'd literally have a direct quote from Terry Taylor every week in the WCW section. But it would be worded, so, those close to Terry Taylor say, and then it would be something that only Terry Taylor could have said. Why wasn't the pile driver the finish again? Again, because I think Terry Taylor had Benoit balls in his butt that he rocks back and forth on. I don't think Cody's the source for Dave. Cody definitely talks to some people, because I've seen the screenshots.
He's intelligent, quick-witted, sharp in the ring. I like him.
But I don't think he's a Dave source. I don't think Dave has that many sources. Think about this. Most of these guys are like young wrestlers in their like 20s and 30s. Why the fuck do they want to get on the phone and talk to an old weird guy in his 60s who lives in a room filled with printouts of paper?
Well, you like him well enough. Well, here he is. Dustin, you heard the...
Like, that's why I think Dave's fallen out of touch.
Just to say to you, I will never, first of all, join your York Foundation. And secondly, I don't know too much about computers.
Secondly, I don't know too much about computers. But listen, if you want to get married, that sounds about right. Chris Cruz was absolutely a Meltzer stooge.
Sounds like he's not too excited about the possibility of being a member of the York Foundation.
We're not so interested in his attitude. The York Foundation...
We're interested in his balls.
I'm interested in his ability.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Jim Ross, what an ass. She was going to say more. She wanted his spunk. She said it herself. She wanted his spunk. know, one thing becomes another, and next thing you know, they have a grandkid.
No offense, Mr. Long, but I've been watching for a couple.
This shit's insane. Because Kevin Sullivan was just like, a few months before this, was just like random dude from a bar in Boston. And then they bring in One Man Gang, and he needs a manager. And this shit happens.
Yo, let me say something to you, brother E. We have no problem. Why don't you let brother Kevin?
I need to find that article. That sounds amazing.
You know, Paulie, as everybody knows, the final chapter will be written. And when Teddy Long,
So he's kind of trying to do the Satan thing here, but it's like G-rated, so he has to wear like children's firefighter suspenders to kind of lighten up the mood. I fucking love One Man Gang.
Then the One Man Gang. And when I reached up and broke the bonds that held the gang, I realized
Kevin was not a legit Satan
Teddy
worshiper.
Long shackled of fear with Rhodes Simmons. And yet, when I did that,
Kevin was just a dude that really liked to live his gimmick.
himself to the tree of woe.
Yo, Paulie, check this out. Let me say something to you, Ron Simmons. You can get ready because the big 747.
He's doing some Akeem back there.
Kevin, tell him. You know, I'd say thank you, but I know what your answer would be. No problem. Not with Ron Simmons. And now we're going back.
I love how they're supposed to be like weird demonic dudes, but also One Man Gang's wearing a American flag headband. And again, Kevin Sullivan's wearing his little boy fireman suspenders. All right, Ranger Ross in March '91. Gee, I wonder if he's going to lose.
He weighs in at 233 pounds. Ranger Ross.
Well, I'll tell you something. I have seen some very bizarre situations that Kevin Sullivan has been involved in. I have heard him talk about the.
See, this shit I think is weirder than all the Buddha Dean stuff. That shit was straightforward Satan
Needs some psychiatric help. It's quite obvious.
character development. This is just whatever weird shit Kevin's reading about in books. And he's trying to make it kid-friendly.
Well, I tell you what, the eyes are the mirror to the soul, and I just look
Mira. Gee, I wonder who Paulie grew up listening to on commentary. The Mira.
6'9", maybe 6'10", 410 pounds.
I am, but I'm not. Because again, it's... He came up in the NWA in 89, 90.
Sort of mental telepathy, if you will. And
Well,
I'm only assuming that.
only Anderson had his prejudice. To be nice.
Going on between these two men.
Also, Ranger Ross, he was okay. Had a cool kick, but he wasn't any great shakes.
by the demented views of Kevin Sullivan.
Well, that's certainly going to be a challenge. I will have to admit that.
Even with the military background.
Has his hands full, not only with Hacksaw Butch Reed, but seemingly
I think the whole racism thing kind of outweighed it.
with this giant one-man gang. And look at the gang, who is just dominating. An outstanding wrestler. Ranger Ross is an outstanding wrestler here in WCW.
And Ranger Ross is a master of self-defense tactics. That's what he learned in the United States military, and he can't even defend himself.
I would have guessed Randy Anderson would have robbed the bank.
Onslaught of the one-man gang.
Look at the Ranger firing everything he's got on this big man.
I do remember that. I made a short about it a few months ago. The Pearl.
Ranger with every martial
One of the
arts blow that
saddest
Buster
fucking things I've ever seen a Booker do to try to fool the fans.
One-man gang bearing those shoulders. The bellowing.
Ryan says, I got that eye black thing too, except mine I think is a vitamin deficiency.
Yeah, but he's an animal, but he's not the one that's going to be wounded when he gets into the ring with Ron Simmons.
He's a very tormented.
I think it could have gotten over. It's just
and I guess we can thank Kevin
the
Sullivan
people in that company wouldn't have gone for it. They went for it enough to put him on the show, but like,
right on the back of the head of Ranger Ross. Remember, that big man is 410 pounds. How can you hurt someone this?
I mean,
big?
WCW just didn't just become racist when they got sued. All right, Yankee Hawk, have a good night. Sweet dreams. Hope you dream of Kevin Sullivan humping a ring post. Have a good night.
Embracing the ring post. He says he's going
Embracing. That's Turner-friendly language for fornication.
An 800 number to call for some. Ranger Ross has never encountered anything like this in his military or wrestling career.
You never thought he never encountered a big chubby guy?
One-man gang didn't even go off his feet.
I've never seen anybody withstand that.
See, wrestling's cool because it's the one creative platform, the one entertainment platform where overweight people are portrayed as powerful and not klutzy and less than. You know? That's really cool. It's genuinely cool to me. Exactly, Ghost of Burt Prentice.
And there's that 747. 747. So devastating.
Well, Fred Ottman was the one-off thing, but like,
oh, they're gonna do it to him again.
Like fat people were jokes in movies, TV, etc. In wrestling, they're beasts. They are hard to overcome. They are powerful. That is awesome.
3 747s. But wait a minute, there's big Ron Simmons. The gang and Sullivan are leaving.
Turn around, Teddy! Turn around!
Teddy Long.
I love how Ron ran out right in front of Teddy, and then had to walk around him. Oh shit, he almost killed Teddy. How did you not catch him? He couldn't have thrown Teddy any closer to the one-man gang. There's like this much space between the ring and one-man gang, and Teddy still somehow fell in that crack. All right, this is our last match, our main event of the evening. And of course, could not end on a better note. Sid Vicious, the man who rules the world. Mike DeBacco, hell yeah, I love that mullet. It's a two-shade mullet. Very, very wrestling-friendly mullet.
This guy's so intense, he's drenched with sweat already, and it's not out of nerves, I'll tell
Love
you
this.
Vicious 6'9", well over 300 pounds.
Mike DeBacco's giving him a death stare.
Vicious a stomp to the midsection. Irish whip.
That's the most underrated Sid move, is the shoulder block that he flies from mid-ring to do.
Fans, don't forget our big main event here tomorrow night at 6:05 Eastern Time. It's a program you don't want to miss. Flying Brian takes on Barry Windham one-on-one. Plus tomorrow night, it's Eaton and Z-Man versus Landell and Taylor. That and much more tomorrow night at 6:05 right here on TBS and the main event.
Boy, DeBacco should run for his life right
I love the two-tone mullet.
Clothesline by
Big Sid
Vicious. And don't forget, fans, next week here as well, we hope to have the footage released from the officials and show you some of the action from the Tokyo Dome this past Thursday night.
In other words, they need Tiger Hattori to bring the footage back to America with them.
I tell you what, this Wednesday on the Wrestling Hotline, when I'm on there live between 7 p.m. and 8:30 Eastern.
Yeah, Sid was gone, I think, 6 weeks after this. The Super Brawl in May was his last show.
You could talk to Sid Vicious in person if you want to.
He could be one of the men that will be on the hotline. You never know. Vicious is so dominant. This man, 6'9".
I think we're getting... Nope. Sid keeps putting him in position for the power... Oh!
Oh, man, he's a walking weapon. Invincible, invulnerable, indestructible.
A little bit of mystery between the party and the business. Yes, that's the Mike DeBacchio mullet.
Gets carted out on a stretcher.
He has certainly kept that record intact.
There we go. Closing time. Oh!
It's the power bomb. There is nothing
Went up a little loosey-goosey, a little ragdolly.
And here come the EMTs.
Ryan Beard, thank you so much for the follow. Hey, look, those doctors are back. Those orderlies. Absolutely, I'm here every Tuesday night, Eddie. Every Tuesday at 9. And then every other Sunday at 8 p.m. for Off the Grid. Something tells me these guys didn't study medicine.
Sid Vicious is unleashed.
Probably the wrestling boots they're wearing.
Says he is the real giant in WCW.
Fucking Mark Doctors. Oh my god. Oh, I thought he was gonna hit him with it. He is. He is. Okay, that's a little gentle. Alright, that does it. You made it through another Tuesday. Thank you so much for hanging out with me the last 2 hours, 15 minutes or so. Watching some 1991 pro wrestling with me. As always, I appreciate the hang. I appreciate the fellowship. I am back again. No Off the Grid this Sunday. This is my off week. I am back next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Programming note, the next Off the Grid, because of that fucking Tony Khan booking another Sunday, will be the following Friday. So next week it's Tuesday and then Friday I will be live. But we'll talk about that more next week. But it's getting late. And I want to leave you guys like I always do, even if you don't make it here the next Tuesday, which it would suck. I want you here, of course. I want you here hanging out with us. But even if you don't make it here, I just want you to make it the next Tuesday. This next 7 days, I'm going to try my hardest. I know life sucks. I had a pretty shitty day to myself, but I made it here. So I wanted to be with you all. I hope you can make it the next Tuesday. Find your thing to get you through. That's all I'm asking for. 7 days. This has been WCW Deep Cuts Live. My name is Tom. Go to bed. I mean it.